The master prompt method is changing the rules, turning AI from a flashy assistant into a strategic partner that drives real exponential growth.
Typically, leadership teams up until now have been setting goals to have like 30 to 50% year-over-year growth.
Right? What difference does it make to have a master prompt?
You get more done better and faster. Like there's some stats around quality improving 40%, that there will be a democratization of execution. So, and it's going to take a different amount of time depending on what industry you're in and how adaptable the industry is. So like the brick and mortar stuff will probably take several years. Because of this, you can do very thorough things that typically only very large companies have the resources to do in very little time.
All right. Say a little bit about why you have chosen to use Claude for this.
I use Claude because it has this basically setting preference that lets you basically put in this, it's called personal preferences. Notebook LM, it's kind of like, this is like Notebook LM with a separate notebook for everyone. What Notebook LM doesn't have is this sort of preferences. Whenever I ask for one to run, I'm asking you to help with decision-making framework in which you determine the problem, the outcome, and provide 3 potential paths and 1 recommended course of action. And then I always ask it to ask 5 questions one at a time and allow me to edit it or approve it before you proceed to the next question. We're going to show what this actually creates, this AI hiring one. Meaning even small enterprises, even a one-person company can now take on a process that would be typically reserved for a company the size of GM. Right? And so one hiring practice that we use in our companies is top grading. And top grading is a lot of work. You have to, obviously the cliche of hiring slow and firing fast definitely exists, but you put in a ton of effort, you have way more interviews, and then you also measure much more regularly. Do you want to do this without the master prompt first, or I can if you like?
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, this has no personal preferences, just kind of a blank account. So let's say I just want to say I want to hire a marketing director or acquire help. So you can see,
interesting.
I have to go back. It's like, all right, well, give me context, right? What does acquire do? What are the key responsibilities? What are the specific qualifications or experience you're looking for? So it's basically kind of like, if I have to type all this out, I'm basically someone's just typing for me,
right?
Or adding some words in. Okay, so if I go to my version here and just say do AI hiring for a marketing director.
And AI hiring is like a trigger word that activates that protocol.
Yeah, so that's one of the words I had in my master.
And when you say acquire, that one word, it knows everything about acquire.
Yeah. So first it's asking me questions. This is what I have it programmed to do. And it answers its own question. So what are the primary responsibilities of this market? By the way, we don't have a marketing director at Acquire. So it's interesting that it kind of understands this. So leading overall marketing strategy, generate leads for both of our programs. Managing our multi-channel marketing approach, it knows it's emails, AI agent texting, and paid ads. Overseeing content creation for nurturing our list. Directing both buyer side and seller side marketing efforts. Managing a marketing team that includes blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, this is perfect. So I'll just say, yes. Yeah. All right. All right, so now it's just going to create a job description. This is the other thing I really like about Claude is that it has these things called artifacts. And you'll see it'll create multiple in a second. But notice how over here, it's doing exactly what I mentioned. So it's got the responsibility, it's got the metric to measure, and it's got our quarterly target for each one of these. And again, we don't actually have this position, so it's making some assumptions here. It's got the A player versus B player performance across all of these. It's got the month 1 outcomes, the month 2 outcomes, the month 3 and beyond outcomes. It's got what the ideal background.
When you've done this in the past, you've gone through this in great detail and really verified it. Right?
Yep. I mean, we can go through it. Typically, the things that I will always look at will be like specifically this, and like the targets, make sure they're accurate. This would have taken our HR director a bunch of time to create.
Like how much time would you estimate?
So each of these is creating a lot of artifacts right now. So this is probably the hardest one. This would probably take the better part of a week simply because you have to have meetings with, in this case, whoever the direct report or the direct manager would be, which would probably be like the CEO, right? because we don't have like a VP layer. That's multiple meetings and multiple reviews, and then also just at least a couple days of work putting it together. So okay, that's one thing. This is right here is the recruitment materials. So it creates, again, this is part of the prompt in AI hiring. It creates a screening interview criteria. So obviously we're going to put out job ads, and we don't want to have to interview every single person. So it asks for a cover letter. It defines what should be in that cover letter, and it based on it being able to screen and score, so that when we actually do interviews, we only do it with people above 20 out of 30 to advance. And so here are some of the sample questions. Here's if we email to our list about the role. Here is a job posting for external sites. And then here is if people pass that screening interview, here's what the working interviews would be. So in a position like this, we'd probably have a couple working interviews with a couple people. So we'd have one here. This is just what it's recommending. Marketing funnel optimization. Another is email marketing revitalization. A third is new product launch marketing plan. It also gives, we always do homework for managers or above. And so basically giving us a couple options for homework to give them. This always took me a ton of time to think about like good homework for a role, and they're always really good. And then again, this is like top grading would do all of these things. Most people in a company of like 30 to 40 people like Acquira, you wouldn't do this. You'd just be like, yep,
Yeah.
looks like you can type on a keyboard.
I mean,
Let's give them a chance.